Cowboys average second most points. Eagles are at 16th. Total yards, 25th to 3rd. Opponent's points, 31st to 8th. So the defense is good.
The Eagles being 25th in yards is stunning. That's
Is it,
stunning.
though?
Yeah.
Not.
It's not stunning having watched the games.
Yeah.
It would have been stunning going into the year.
Yes.
To hear that they're
Watching the games like 25th, I could see 27th.
Stunning.
Do you think the Eagles are vulnerable to a Cowboys upset?
Absolutely.
Ooh.
Not because the Cowboys have arrived. Oh, the defense is back.
But?
No, not because they're better than Philadelphia. Just because this is an NFC East game in Dallas. And look at Dak Prescott's numbers against the division and the Eagles at home. Career numbers.
This is an old
21 and 2. Yes. 6-1 against the Eagles. And beyond that, I mean, the Eagles have won 4 straight. They have been struggling. They're going to lose 2, 3, 1, 2, maybe 3 more games this year. You know,
Sure.
And so I don't think if Dallas beats them, which I think is very possible, I don't think a lot of people will think, oh my gosh, the Cowboys have arrived. The Eagles are in trouble. I won't think that.
I
think it's the NFL. Yeah, I think it's the NFL because I just saw these Eagles lose to the Giants a month ago. So it happens, and I think it's very possible it would continue to give the Cowboys life and hope. And for the Eagles, maybe it would be crazy because of their situation with A.J. Brown, but this is the NFL, any given Sunday.
So, listen, I think that the Cowboys all year, I have felt that they can beat anybody. When your offense that good, you can beat anybody. You can also lose to anybody with a defense that bad. Now, the defense appears a little bit better. So I agree with you. 3 points line is,
Yeah.
not a significant line. So I agree with your take. Here is where it would be more meaningful to me, Brew, potentially. This Eagles offense has looked, let's call it, unsteady and herky-jerky all year.
Fair.
I do think it is on the board that it looks even worse without Lane Johnson. Mm-hmm. And that would concern me greatly. That if they were a team that was already leaking oil offensively and dealing with some discontent because of it, if now they're like, man, we don't even want to call a lot of drop back passes because we don't want Jalen to get lit up. Like that element of could this Eagles offense have one of its worst performances when we've seen some bad ones, that would be highly concerning to me.
Why would it be highly concerning for you if you're expecting Lane Johnson to come back? It's the same thing why you said you weren't concerned with Patrick Mahomes and his performances when his O-line wasn't great, because you're like, well, so-and-so's coming back and he's going to be back. And so if it wasn't greatly concerning for the Chiefs and Mahomes, why would it be greatly concerning for the Eagles and Jalen Hurts? And this is where it's so perfect, because you can't now say, well, Patrick Mahomes won Super Bowl. So did the Philadelphia Eagles. So did Jalen Hurts, Super Bowl MVP. So tell me, what's the difference? I don't know. But of course, the Eagles are vulnerable to a Cowboys upset. I wouldn't even consider it an upset. The Eagles and the Cowboys have always played each other competitively. When they have their actual starting quarterbacks facing each other, okay? Like when both teams are actually healthy enough and good enough and they play each other, it's like you're going to get some interesting games. I mean, it doesn't signify anything. I made a Cowboys video, and some Cowboys fans for some reason were all sensitive to it because I said, listen, I said I don't really care as much if the Cowboys beat the Eagles. I look at it more of like I actually weirdly enough, care more about how do the Cowboys play against the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm like the Philadelphia Eagles and the Cowboys playing each other. It's just the definition of a divisional game, right? Like they encapsulate what a divisional game can look like more so than anywhere else right now. So, I mean, you had not this year with the Broncos, but in years past, like when the Broncos were nothing, beat the Chiefs and the Raiders beat the Chiefs with Aiden O'Connell throwing 60 yards, like with an interim head coach, like just weird wonky stuff. So it's like, of course they're vulnerable, and it wouldn't signify anything to me either. If the Eagles lost this game, would it be concerning? Would you be frustrated by it? Absolutely. Absolutely. Especially depending on how it looks like. If you just looked bad, if you just looked like, wow, right? If you're the Eagles and you're like, if you're an Eagles fan, you're sitting at home and you're like, we scored 9 points and the Cowboys scored 28. Like we could not move the ball. Like what is going on? Then yeah, you would be like, this makes me extra uncomfortable. And then you really are kind of hoping Lane Johnson comes back, but at the same time, it's not like the offense had been looking great without Lane Johnson, or excuse me, with Lane Johnson. So I think there's a ton of vulnerability there, and it'll be interesting to see what the defense looks like against Dak and that offense, because this offense will also, should feel a lot more smoother and more high-powered this time around than it did in Week 1, because Week 1 is Week 1. And the Cowboys defense should be better, certainly healthier, and some new faces just in general than it was in Week 1. So yeah, I'm super excited for this game because, like I said, Eagles versus Cowboys are just, it's, if you ever were like, hey, so no one has ever watched football before, and you're like, I need an example of like, what's a great game to watch, and you're just like Eagles Cowboys. Like that is, you understand the rivalry, you understand the history, you understand the fan bases. Like it's the NFC East, two of the biggest, most popular teams in all of the NFL, with two of the biggest, most passionate fan bases in all of the NFL. Like it's just different. It's a huge game, and especially now considering the Eagles have been at the top. Even in years past, it's just been like both teams are kind of fighting. Both teams are kind of fighting for relevancy and whatnot. And it's like now the Eagles have gone to multiple Super Bowls. They won the Super Bowl. They beat the Cowboys already this season, right? Like and like Brew pointed out, like the Eagles lost to Jackson Dart and the New York Giants, right? Did that mean that the Giants have arrived and now that the Eagles are bad? Like no, it doesn't mean any of that. In it those games matter, and really kind of like when you're trying to really figure out who you are as a team. Like the Ravens, you wanted to see them play a significantly higher quality football against the Cleveland Browns. When the Kansas City Chiefs, and this is what I said, in that game, like it's not weird for them to lose to the Broncos and have a great game, but like in a gotta have it game, in a gotta have it moment, chalking it up to being like, that was a tough divisional game. It's a harder pill to swallow. If the Eagles had a couple extra losses in their books right now, and they were kind of like flirting with the wild card, or they were competing for the division, then yeah, you would be like, it would be harder for you just to chalk up a loss to just being like, oh, it's just a divisional game. What are you gonna do? It's a tough game, and it's just, you kind of have to earn that a little bit. Which we saw the Bills lose that right when they lost to the Patriots. And so yeah, I just think every team can beat every team right now. Nick said, oh, I think the Cowboys can beat anyone. And it's like the Bills can beat anyone. The Chiefs can beat anyone. The Eagles can beat anyone. The Broncos can beat anyone. Like everyone can beat anyone right now. The Rams can beat anyone, right? Like it's just, and the Eagles have beat the higher collection of teams. They have higher quality wins than any other team currently right now. And so it's just, yeah, a game like this, I at this point I really have no strong predictions whatsoever, because I just feel that this has been such an unpredictable year. And so I'm fascinated to see, like I said, what the defense looks like against the Cowboys. And, I don't know how much optimism I have for the offense in terms of consistency and their ability to troubleshoot, say, missing a Lane Johnson, because I don't trust the coaching. I don't trust the coaching. So, we see a great game like against the Giants or against the Vikings, or, even Week 1 against the Dallas Cowboys or something. And it's just like I saw some great and smart play calling against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Dallas God, like see some really smooth, smart stuff, and then I just see that seemingly just completely vanish. And so there is no strong sense of a level of consistency. And when a team is inconsistent, it almost always is on the coaching staff. On the coaching staff. And that's what you're going to see offensively, potentially. And I don't know if there is a solution to that this season. So that's when you just got to hope that the players are good enough to overcome any of those limitations and issues. And now that you're getting banged up and your O-line hasn't been great, and now it's even more banged up, you're just like, what does that look like? So, I don't have any strong views in one direction or the other. If I had more trust in the coaching staff, then you'd be able to say, okay, I believe that they'll be able to do this, that, and the third. And if they were fully healthy and their O-line had been great, but I didn't trust their coaching staff, you could then be, okay, but I trust that they'll be able to establish the run, blah, blah, blah. You're just like, I don't know. I don't know how anyone could feel confident in what you're going to see offensively from this team right now. So it's going to be fascinating. It's going to be, I think what will ultimately impress me the most, but you can't take comfort in it because of the level of inconsistency. If this Eagles offense comes out and is like, boom, they lay some punches and they just hit the ground, running and put up great numbers, and Jalen looks great, and AJ Devontae skews cooking. They hang, 35 points or something, 28 points. They just put up points and they come away with the win. It's like on one side you could feel really good about that, and you could be like, okay, see, there you go. They were vulnerable to an upset, but they closed the door and said, nope, not this year. And then you could maybe start to feel confident, like, okay, maybe they figured some stuff out. But like that's where then the inconsistency of the of the issues in the O-line, that you're like, well, and again, it's also fair to say that the O-line hasn't been good. And so then maybe you don't blame the coaching. So it's just a messy diagnosis right now. Honestly, I think it's just a messy diagnosis. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Philadelphia Eagles? Do you think they're vulnerable to a Cowboys upset? And what would that mean? What does a win mean? What does a loss mean? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment, so you agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.